The last Kia Optima was a pretty good family sedan, but it flew underneath the radar of a lot of buyers. Let's face it, it was a pretty boring car. But the Optima is redesigned for 2011, and this version promises to make a much bigger splash in the highly competitive family sedan market. Let's take a first look. No doubt, this time around, the Kia Optima is trying to be a looker. It has a whole lot more visual appeal. From some angles, especially from the rear, it looks a lot like a modern Jaguar. The car looks a lot more expensive than it really is. Practical considerations were also taken into account for this version of the Optima. The previous car felt a bit narrow inside. Definitely not the case with this car. Much more room inside and a spacious rear seat. Now, Kia and Hyundai share the same corporate umbrella, so it's no big surprise that the Optima shares a lot with the Hyundai Sonata. That car was recently redesigned for 2011, and the Optima uses basically the same platform and the same powertrains. The base engine in the Optima is 2.4-liter direct-injected 4-cylinder. This engine puts out nearly 200 horsepower. When we tested it in the Sonata, we were really impressed by the combination of power and terrific fuel economy. We'll see if the Optima can match that. Like the Sonata, if you want more power in the Optima, you'll be able to get a turbocharged 4-cylinder. If you want more fuel economy, you'll be able to get a hybrid. You won't be able to get a V6. Now, in the case of the Optima, that's really no big loss, because its old V6 it had less power than the new base 4-cylinder. It's not going to come as a big surprise that the Optima drives a lot like the new Sonata, and that's a good thing. Our first impression is that the steering's pretty responsive, and the ride is quite comfortable. One side effect, though, of the Optima's sleek styling is that driver visibility is somewhat compromised here, especially compared to the old upright, square, boxy Optima. Now, this car has fairly high beltline, creates short side windows. The beltline rises towards the back. That means kids in the back, they're not going to have a very good view out. There's a fairly thick roof pillar back there and a high rear trunk deck. That's reducing rear visibility. Inside, the Optima again looks more expensive than it actually is. This interior, it wouldn't be out of place in an Acura. Saab would be happy to have an interior like this. Lots of padded materials, lots of stitching details. It's very nice. Controls, they're mostly straightforward. Everything's up high. But if you get the optional navigation system, the radio gets a little more complex. It's no tune knob, and the preset buttons, they're in the screen. To sum up, the Hyundai Sonata went from being a good car to being a great car in its 2011 redesign. We'll see if the corporate-made Optima can pull off the same trick when we buy one to put through its paces here at our test track.